everybody, I'm Pia from Stitches and Scraps, and today I want to talk to you about how to make the front post and back post single crochet stitches. Here I have a swatch of just some plain single crochet that I was working on, and I've started to do a couple of front post single crochet stitches with this blue over here. So if you look very closely, you can sort of see that the post of this, or the stitch here in blue, is worked around the post of this orange stitch. And if you look from the back, you can see that this is the top of that orange stitch here, and instead of working into that, we've actually worked around the post. So why are we doing that? Well, there's a couple of different reasons you might want to do it. Sometimes you want to do this so that you can leave these tops of the stitches available to be worked into later, and it creates a nice little ridge. Sometimes you want to do it to turn the work 90 degrees. It creates a nice sharp corner rather than curving around. So if you're doing like a basket or a bag, sometimes this will give you a nice change in direction to switch your direction of work. So let's look at how it's done. Oh, and I should say, if you do it, these are front post stitches. If you do it around the front post, or if you do a front post stitch, the stitches will stick up towards the front of your work. If you do a back post stitch, they'll stick out towards the back. So depending on whether you're on the right side or wrong side of your work and what direction you want the stitches to point, that will determine whether you want to do a front post or a back post single crochet stitch. So let's see how it's actually done. A normal stitch would be worked in right here under this top loop, this little V at the top of your stitch. You all know how to do a normal single crochet, just like that. Okay, that is not what we want. We want to work around the post. So to go around the post, we're going to actually put our hook around this part, the post of the stitch. To do a front post stitch, we go in from the front to the back on one side of the stitch, and then up from the back to the front on the other side. Now you'll notice that the post of this stitch is lying in front of the hook, and that's how you remember it's a front post stitch. If the post is in front, it's front post. If the post is in the back, it's a back post. So I've inserted my hook from front to back and then out from back to front. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Okay, now you've got 2 loops on your hook and you know how to finish the single crochet. Yarn over and pull through both of those loops. That's it. That's how you make a front post single crochet. Let me show it to you again. Insert your hook from front to back and then out from back to front. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both of those loops. One more time, a little slower. From front to back, back to front. Now you have the post in front of the hook, which means it's a front post. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both of those loops. So now we have a little ridge forming, and you can see here, let me turn it around. Here's the tops of the stitches that kind of get pushed back. Here is the new stitches wrapped around the post, and here you can see the new stitches are pointing in another direction. So that is front post. Now I'm going to put a little bit of a buffer of just plain stitches in between here so I'm not twisting quite so much. So some plain single crochet stitches. Oops, and I've doubled up here. This is something you want to be careful of if you're mixing front post stitches and regular stitches. This post stitch right here is for this stitch. This is where you would normally put the stitch. So when I do my next stitch, I don't want to put it here, I want to put it here. So a couple of stitches. Okay, now let's do a back post stitch. Let me do one more stitch. I want some more room here. Okay, now a back post stitch. So to do the back post stitch, you're going to go the opposite direction. Remember, before we went from front to back, now we're going to go from back to front. So back to front, around the post, and then front to back. Now you can see that our hook is in front of the stitch. The stitch is in the back. That makes it a back post stitch. So yarn over and draw up a loop, and remember to draw it through around the whole stitch, so under there and under there. Now you can see this looks like it did from the other side, right? Where we've got the loop wrapped around the post. That's exactly what we want. Yarn over and finish your stitch, and now you have a back post stitch. Let's do one more. From back to front, from front to back. Yarn over, and sometimes I like to pinch it here. That helps me pull up this loop. Yarn over, pull up the loop. Okay. Yarn over and finish your stitch. One more time. Back to front to back, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and finish your stitch. And now you can see, I'm going to pull this out so I can show you better. You can see it doesn't look like very much from this side, right? Because it's just wrapped around the post. But on the back, we have that same nice little ridge that's now sticking up in this direction. And here are our normal stitches, and then here are our front post stitches that were worked on this side. So that's how you do front post and back post single crochet. Thanks for watching.